Hi, welcome back. In today's review, we will be looking at the Dyson V7 Motorhead. This model is Dyson's mid-price option, and based on my tests, it did extremely well on carpet. So I put it through a series of tests, and it actually did better than the V8 in portions of it, which I'll share with you later on in this video. But first, let me go through the different V7 options available. There are currently 5: the V7 Absolute, V7 Fluffy, V7 Motorhead, V7 Animal, and the V7 Animal Pro. Please note that all these vacuums have the same motor and battery. The difference would be the attachments and whether or not it has a post-motor HEPA filter. Of the 5 alternatives, only the V7 Animal and Animal Pro have the post-motor HEPA filter, while the others do not. The V7 Absolute has the same set of tools as the V8 Absolute, but it's only available on the Dyson website. The model that I will focus on in this review is the V7 Motorhead. If it's your first time in this channel, please consider subscribing to get notified when I publish new reviews like this. For more information about the different V7 options and the review, please check the links below. Before I go to the test results, let me first go through the features. The V7 Motorhead is a light version of the V8, so it uses the smaller battery, which makes it a bit lighter than the V8. Like all Dyson cord-free products, it utilizes a trigger to power on the motor. It has a detachable one with interchangeable tools that make this usable as a handheld or stick vacuum. One advantage the V7 has over the newer models like the V10 and V11 is its compact frame. This model is lighter than the V8 and only weighs 5.45 pounds. Of all the Dyson cordless stick vacuum, this is the lightest and you can feel the difference in its handheld configuration. Steering is very responsive on hard floors and carpets. It won't have any problems going around and under furniture, which I think is its biggest strength. The Motorhead is pretty basic in terms of features. It has the same design as the V8 with a trigger and slide switch on top to toggle between the default and max power setting. However, it doesn't have the HEPA filter behind the motor, so allergens may seep through the exhaust. Out of the box, you'll get 2 attachments: the crevice tool and combination upholstery and brush tool. However, it doesn't have the mini turbo brush that's available in the V8 Absolute. Now let's look at the test results, and first is power. So I use an anemometer to measure airflow, and the V7 registered a high of 49.68 CFM at the 1 and 37.92 CFM at the nozzle. To my surprise, it has more airflow than the V8 in the max setting with the main nozzle attached, which is a big reason why it did very well in the surface pickup tests on carpet. Despite not having the roller brush, the V7 Motorhead was decent on hard floors, at least on small particles of dirt. However, it tends to kick debris behind the brush, particularly stuff like pet litter and quinoa. You can't use it for cleaning large and extra large debris like Cheerios and Fruit Loops because it lacks the clearance, and it also struggles with large piles of dirt. It did fairly well in the sand on hard floor test, picking up 99.2%, but it's not something I'd recommend for cleaning such on hard surfaces, as sand can latch on the ball component and scratch the surface. Edge cleaning is also decent, as it was able to pick up most of the pet litter as scattered on this area, but it was the same issue with debris being kicked behind the brush. On carpet, the Motorhead shines, picking up 100% in 7 of the 8 surface debris tests I did, and it had better overall averages than the V8. However, it wasn't as good at deep cleaning carpet compared to the V8, picking up an average of 94.93% in 3 tests, which is still a decent score for a vacuum at this price point. It was also much better at cleaning large and extra large particles of dirt on carpet than on hard surfaces, picking up most of it in the forward pass. So the results on carpet coincide with a slight uptick in airflow at the nozzle. The bad news is you have to empty it often, as it has a small dust container with only a 0.53 liter capacity, which is almost the same volume as the V8. So disposing of dirt will be similar to the V8, just pull the red lever and all the contents will drop down. The hygienic system is pretty good in the V7, even with long strands of hair, as you'll see in the clip that I didn't need to use my fingers to dislodge the hair that was sticking on the sides. It fell in the bin with a little shaking. Next, we'll look at how well the Motorhead avoids tangles. So for this experiment, I used 1 gram of 5 to 7 inch human hair on hard floors and carpets. The V7 was much better at picking up hair on hard floors with only a few strands around the brush. On carpet, it didn't do as well with this much hair wrapping around the brush rope. The smaller battery limits the V7's runtime. With the crevice tool, it only lasted for 32 minutes, and with the main nozzle, that number goes down to 27 minutes. As far as noise is concerned, the V7 is slightly noisier than the V8, recording 64.1 decibels on low and 73.9 decibels at the max setting. To conclude this review, the V7 Motorhead is a compelling option inside smaller homes because of its compact size and high-end performance on carpet. It won't deep clean as well as its more expensive siblings like the V8, V10, or V11, but it's decent enough for daily vacuuming. Runtime isn't as good as the V8, but that's a trade-off you'll have to consider if you want the benefits of a lightweight product that cleans well. If your home has lots of hard surfaces, then the better option would be the V7 Fluffy with a soft roller attachment. I hope this review has helped you make an informed choice, and if it did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to get notified for more videos like this. If you have any questions about the V7, just leave them in the comment section and I'll answer them as soon as possible. For more information about the V7 Motorhead and the full review in my blog, please check the links below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.